Welcome to Season 2 of the Get Set podcast, an old girls entertainment production. We're so excited to be here and talking about our experiences as three women in the TV and film industry. Today, it's Jess and Mo here, and we are covering something we preach quite a lot here on the Get Set podcast, mental health.
Yes, and here to coach us through our mental hurdles, leaving us with tips and tools to sustain our mental health through the valleys and peaks of this industry, we have Reverend Doctor Leila. She is a doctor of clinical psychology with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy, and a subject matter expert in energy-based psychology, a professional psychic reader and healer mixing Eastern philosophy with Western modalities. So welcome, Leila. We are so excited to have you.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course.
All right, let's get started. We gave out the title and everything, but we want to know a little bit of like who you are, where you're from, and how you got your training. Basically everything to kind of get you to like where you are now.
Oh my.
Maybe not everything. not everything. We don't need the whole thing.
So let me start with the spiritual aspect. Being a professional psychic and spiritual healer, that road, I guess, started right around the age of 10 when I first learned about astrology, and that runs in the family through my aunt. And every summer she would just talk about astrology, and she's an astrologer as well, and she's still constantly, just updating her information. So I grew up with that first. And then right around 14, I learned what a psychologist was. And I actually went to a family therapist, a family clinical psychologist, just family getting divorced, going through some difficulties. So sending all the kids to make sure we're okay. And I just thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. I mean, she just seemed to know everything. And I'm like, are you psychic? She's like, no, this is just, this is the dynamic of your family and this is what's happening. So at 14, I decided I need to become a doctor of psychology. So those are both of the practices. So learning about, our unconscious mind, learning about, human behavior. So that became an interest and a hobby right around 14. And then in high school, I took some college courses in psychology, and then all the way. So from, the very first day of school up until I got my doctoral degree, it's all psychology based. I didn't do anything else on the side. I was just submerged and obsessed with it.
You knew what you wanted from the beginning.
I knew what I wanted from the beginning. And then just to make money on the side, right around 17, 18, people started coming to me for actual professional readings, and they started tipping me. And then people started referring other people. And then that led to providing healing work, because when you see something psychically, and we can get into that later for the people that are like, I don't believe in this, and that is okay. You don't have to. I am an advocate of just believe in whatever works for you. I started seeing, certain health things coming up. So if anybody's familiar with the medical medium, that's how he actually became a medical medium. So a psychic medium that could see health related issues, even though he's not a doctor. But, so things just both started progressing. So while I was going to school during my master's, I was supporting myself as far as, readings, healings. And then during my doctorate's program, I learned about energy psychology. And it's not exactly esoteric based, because you're not supposed to mix both. It's very taboo, I found out.
In the US, probably only, right? I mean, I'm just guessing, because my one of my family members has a master's degree in yoga therapy, and they went to a hospital in India where they did mix like Eastern and Western medicine, and there are, natural homeopathic remedies for things. We're just getting off topic, but it's, there are other avenues out there.
But no, this is actually very much on topic, because you're talking about the rest of the world and what they believe in versus what America and the United States believes in. And there is a huge segregation. There's a huge separation of beliefs. So yeah, most of the world, they actually cope better because they have that spiritual belief, because they understand yoga and Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is more like holistic medicine. So if you, eat, for example, watermelon and cucumbers to calm and cool down your body, or chili pepper. I'm making it very simple. So for all the Ayurvedic professionals, like chili pepper to heat up your body. So, that's normal around the rest of the world. But in the United States, it's take a Prozac, take a Wellbutrin, take a, basically take something for your depression or your anxiety. It's all medical based. It's not holistic based. So it very much, it does make sense. Yeah.
How did you go from, so you were doing, readings, you got your doctorate degree. So how did you go into being the psychologist that you are today and helping people? And what do you see with creatives? Because you help a lot of creatives. How do you, is there a common thread there that you see that there are sometimes that creatives are struggling with most, or where do you think that they need the most support?
Well, let me actually explain why I became passionate about helping creative people.
Yes, please.
Because when I was doing my master's, I was also in acting, and I needed a creative outlet, because just the program of, your master's and your doctorate's program, it can be just so dry, and it can just kill your sense of creativity. So I went into acting myself. I went into singing.
No, I was just going to say we met in one of Lilac's classes. Plug for Lilac. You'll hear her on this season of the podcast, but yes.
Yes. So the reason I love working with actors is actually originally while I was going to school, I needed a creative outlet. And my friend that was in stunts got me further into acting. She's like, oh, you should try out acting. And I was like, okay, fine, let's try this. Okay. And it was so much fun. And it was also very stressful. And
yes,
it was very stressful. And my heart just went out to all the creative people, because this is California. There's a lot of actors, there's a lot of creative people. And then when I started actually doing my clinical work, like the doctoral work, not just the marriage and family therapy work, I ended up somehow either it was very like spiritual people coming to me, or religious people, or they were people that were coaches, musicians, pianists, dancers, ballerinas, writers, producers. I don't know how they found me. It just happened. And my heart went out to them, because there's a person that's creative. So this is for everybody in the industry. If you're creative, there is something so deep down in your heart, so deep down in your gut, that you have to get it out there. And some people don't know how to get it out there. And that's what we're learning to do. Either becoming a better actor or actress, becoming a better writer, getting what's inside out more eloquently, like more beautifully, right?
And in a healthy way, instead of finding maybe other outlets, you're targeting it towards this, artistic medium.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry, you just reminded me back when I was working with dual diagnosis patients. So like, substance abuse and mental health. One of the main things that I saw was some of these people were so creative. They were so talented, but they were overwhelmed by their own emotions, by the world. Let's face it, the world of like AI, social media. Even for someone like me that's a professional in every single way, I'm like, Jesus, I have to get out of here.
Yeah.
So we are on overdrive. Our body is not meant to be on overdrive. It's
24/7.
24/7. And what I'm noticing people doing to relax now is they're going on TikTok. They're going on social media. And then they're comparing themselves to the person that's perceivably, it looks like they're more successful. It looks like they have a happier life. And we're just accepting what we're seeing without questioning what's really going on.
Yeah, right. Same thing I'm sure that you've encountered with your family and relationship therapy. We hear this all the time, like the couples that look the happiest on Instagram. You never know.
What it's doors.
And then too with creatives, there's a push to put your stuff on Instagram, because if you're not being seen, then you're not doing the work. It's part of like your creativeness, but part of what you're creating is meant to be put out there and be seen, right?
Right.
And that's also how people define success, is how many people have like seen it and stuff like that.
How many followers you have.
Right. Exactly. And so, I mean, even before social media, if you look at box office numbers, same thing, you know, that's what they were calculating, how many people have seen your stuff. So,
and we've said this before in the podcast, and it is true, like you are your own business. And so, you know, realizing that Instagram and social media is not 100% what's reality, but it is the business of that person. And even if they are what do they call them? Influencers, or even if they are, why was that word so hard to find? Millennials. Even if they are a public figure, you know, that public figure is an image.
Right. It's an act.
And an ad. So maybe just to segue into this really quick before we get back to what we were talking about.
Sure.
How do you coach your clients to handle the pressures of social media or maybe self-doubt and or self-criticism when they, you know, see, oh, this person is booking all the time, or they look just like me. Why didn't I get that role?
Yeah,
why are my reps not working for me when they,
what makes them better?
Exactly.
That's a really, really wonderful question, because I think this goes to everybody, not just people in the entertainment industry. When, first of all, there's a lot of the people that do come in, it's not just coaching work that I do, but I actually help them understand where they're stuck. And then I go into not just conscious work. So conscious is, I ask you a question, you automatically know the answer. You just know it, right? It's our day-to-day life. What's your routine for the day? What did you have for breakfast? That's your conscious. Your conscious is aware of everything. The light is on in the room. Then you have the subconscious. Sorry to sidetrack, but just to explain. Then you have the subconscious. The subconscious is, I feel a certain way, but I'm not sure why. But it's easy to go and explore it. So that's that feeling when you're scrolling on social media. I have this feeling in my body, or I'm feeling uncomfortable, or I'm irritated and upset, but I don't know why. Right? So you know you have a feeling, you just don't know why. That's your subconscious. Your unconscious is, you have zero clue. The lights are off. It is somewhere dark in the closet. It's probably that little corner in the closet that you haven't even looked at in years, and you don't even know that maybe like a spider is sitting there and like just hanging out in the corner. You know, it's like complete and utter blackout. So my work is more in depth. So what I like to do with each individual is we start talking about, for example, what are they feeling? Help them become aware of their body. So as you mentioned earlier, you know, being a subject matter in energy psychology is alternative formats. It's not talk therapy. It's body awareness. Your body holds trauma. It might hold something from childhood. We have to explore that, get to the core, right? And you might not even realize it. Suddenly I've had clients be like, oh, I had this dream last night and I completely forgot that so-and-so locked me in a closet, and I think I was 3 years old. And so now every time I have to do this thing, I have to keep it very general.
Sure.
And so now whenever I have to do this thing at this concert, I notice right before the curtains come up, I freeze. Like, this is not something your conscious is going to be aware of. But once you link everything together, this is the benefit of therapy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just the benefit of therapy. But when you're scrolling and when you're looking at something, you want to take a step back. So something you can do on your own is, even if you're feeling anxious or you're resisting the emotion, put your phone away for a second. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? And you can do something from like, okay, how am I feeling from the top of my head to my throat, from my throat to my shoulders, shoulders to torso, torso down to my knees, knees down to my feet. Are my feet constantly pitter-pattering? Am I fidgeting? Is my breathing short, or am I relaxed? And you can actually alter that. So it's really, you see it everywhere. Like 5-second deep breath in, slow breath out. You're controlling your heart rate. That's one thing. That's just the physical body. The other thing you want to look at is remind yourself that social media is an act. A person is picking what they want and they're posting it. I can tell you from a professional perspective how many clients' social media I've seen, and they have all these followers and it looks like they're doing amazing and they're depressed and their relationship is not going well and they've edited the photo. I mean, they've edited the video. People don't always look that amazing. And if they do, more power to them. But we are our own unique individual. So the main punchline is, instead of focusing on how much better somebody else is, that person put so much effort into that one photo. It took them probably 30 minutes to an hour to get that one photo up there. That is their job. That is what they're doing for work. So if you see social media and TikTok and YouTube and everything as this is actual work, this is like going and preparing for an audition, getting yourself out there and doing that type of work.
Yeah.
So if you see it like that versus this is my real life, it becomes easier. If you realize, oh, this is my face, this is my second personality. So a lot of people get stuck on, but it's not real. So a lot of people that get triggered can also feel like, but I don't have anything great to share. Well, put something up there. Even if you put up a drink, start off with something small, right? Because this is business. It is a business. I am not a huge social media fan. And I've been telling myself for a long time to put stuff up there. And I actually decided, so I'm saying from personal experience, my whole business is through word of mouth.
Well, your website is gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
But yes, of course, people are going to refer you because, they found someone that can really help them and like people want to help each other. But I mean, your website's gorgeous. Just sidetrack.
Thank you so much. I did work hard on that.
I
was like, I want it to feel
stunning.
Like a breath of fresh air.
And easy to navigate. Super easy to navigate. Anyways.
Thank you. No, I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But what you're saying about like viewing it as, because it's almost like viewing not as like yourself, but almost as like a character, right?
As a character.
For the actors out there, or like maybe if you're a writer or something, like this is, like you're writing a character or whatever, versus yourself. It's an act. Like you said, it's an act. So
it's scary to put yourself out there. Yes, embrace it as an act because it's scary to put yourself out there. We don't have to see every little detail of everyone's life, right? Some people can do that and that's great, but
I cannot.
and legally I'm not allowed. So it's, I think I actually just realized I'm gearing towards the people that are more shy. So if you want to start off with something, for those that feel frozen in the business, for those that feel stuck, start off with, you can always put a cute animal video. You can put a cute what you drank or scenery. That's a good start. So I believe the best way to get yourself out of being stuck is baby steps. Acknowledge, instead of putting yourself down, for those that are, or feeling not good enough, or just this person's better, but nobody else is you. Nobody else has your experience. Nobody else is going to have your shyness, your confidence, your look, nothing. Nobody has your thumbprints. Our thumbprints are so unique.
Yeah. Well, and what you're saying too is like, it's really interesting because we had an episode where we talked about self-doubt on season 1. It was our 15th episode, our finale for the, but it was about overcoming doubt. And one thing that, I always say is like, for people who are like afraid to put themselves out there in whatever capacity, whether it be social media or like trying to do a film
or networking. Like Jessica and I go to networking events, and for the first 30 seconds, we're like, why are we here?
But so like, And my thing is, I'm always like, oh, you just have to start. You just have to do it.
Yes,
and
you
your
do
approach,
say that a lot.
I do say that because I know also I feel like too, my own struggles, my own worry of starting was like, I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not like, like it's not going to be good. It's like, I have to wait until it's like right or whatever.
Right.
But I've always said, it was like, well, your first is going to be bad. Like it's
Exactly.
fine. Like your first post, you might not keep that cute animal pick up there forever, but it's your first, you're starting, right? So it's getting you comfortable on whatever track you're trying to go down.
I love that, because how many people who went viral on TikTok and have all these followers deleted like the very first couple years of the stuff that doesn't match them anymore.
They have millions of followers, and then you look and they have 3 videos, and you're like, wait a second.
Exactly.
Well, and then they theme out their like Instagrams and everything, so it all looks the same. And if it didn't look the same, then it's out. It's like constantly evolving.
What you're describing is giving yourself room to make a mistake, because we're human, and
you're gonna make mistakes, and it's best just to do it, and then that way you learn from it.
Exactly. I mean, look at us right now. I mean, how many times have I fumbled, or we're fumbling?
It's called editing.
Thank you. But that's true. It's called editing because this is work.
This is work.
It's fun work, but it's work.
Speaking about having, being able to edit or go back or make mistakes, it kind of goes in line with, having control in your life, or where can you find control? Can you just talk to us a little bit about
that word?
Control.
Control. My favorite word. So everybody has a relationship with control. So what is control? Control is someone or something above us tells us what to do, right? That's
or what we can and can't do.
What a person can and cannot do. Right. So control is, I don't have freedom. So if we look at it in that thought process, I don't have the freedom to do something, to not do something, or to think a certain way, right? And I guess there's so many different directions I can go with control. Where a person can have control, for example, in acting or entertainment, is you're going to want to explore where you think you don't have control.
Okay.
So if you can give yourself that room, some people become too anxious, and that's okay. That means maybe go for a walk and think about it. No music, no tuning out. 10 minutes. Think about it. Where do I feel that I don't have control? It might be real, or it might be just a thought process, right? So look at that first. I always think a list is helpful because then you can actually look at it. And then you can look at or think about, well, where do I have control, right? So if you have, let's say, anxiety. So let's go back to the original topic. Let's say posting. It might feel like, oh, well, I can't do it. So you're automatically saying that you don't have control over it. That's not true. The reality is you're having a hard time doing it. So let's look at how you can get to step 1. That's one form of taking over, like having control.
Right.
I love loopholes. I love the gray area. So if there is a higher up, if there is, for example, like, again, everything that's going on with the entertainment industry right now.
The strikes, yeah.
Right. So a lot of people are going to feel like they have no control.
Right.
But this is where I would recommend pushing the voting. Right. Being active about it, talking about it, putting it out there to the point where, your mom and dad are like, okay, and your friends are like, okay, you're posting too much. This is annoying. It's like, just get the word out there. Right. This is where you have control. You have a voice, freedom of speech. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Another one is, what was your original reason for being in entertainment? What do you love? So if it's a hiatus period, and we do hear this, but where do you have control? We have control by posting things, getting together with friends. And if we don't have friends, because some people don't, and that's okay, finding a group, going online and being like, hey, you don't know me, but I'm looking to collaborate.
Yeah. Well, and we've been on picket lines, and you talk to people, you sit there and you walk around and you start chit-chatting with someone, and it happens.
And it doesn't matter if you form long-lasting relationships with those people, or if those people are just, you're hanging out with them for an hour. It does help to talk to others, 100%. And even if you are like a solitary person, even if you're not an amazing writer like Jessica, you could still write it out. You could still write your feelings out, even though or what you're going through, if it's hard to say those words out loud. If we could touch upon the pandemic and the effects of the pandemic, because that was another scenario where most of the world, if I'm allowed to speak for most of the world, but a lot of us felt like we were out of control, because we want to do so much, but we had to stay at home. We couldn't go out that much unless it was for critical items. So a lot of people felt
that
stuck.
Connection that you were talking about of like find a friend or find
Human
someone.
connection.
Yeah,
people struggled with that a lot.
It was taken away for a lot of people.
Right. So your thoughts on that?
I mean, I have so many thoughts on that, so I guess my first thought is, granted the pandemic was, a couple years ago, and it's crazy that it's been a couple years ago. It affected the world, and mental health crisis became at an all-time high.
Yes.
And I guess the joke in my head is like, it was as bad as trying to find toilet paper.
Right.
It's people were in such a crisis that they were either hoarding, they weren't aware of, like, they were in survival. And I don't mean a mild survival. It was a very primitive survival. People not caring about other people. And only caring about themselves, abandoning friends, family members because they were so scared. The true core of who you were came out. And through that, many people dissociated. So the punchline here is, even though the pandemic is over, nobody wants to talk about it. But that's because it was painful, and it's difficult for many people to talk about it. So if somebody's just like, oh, well, that was a while ago, let's not talk about it. Well, chances are there's some residual emotion there, so we can respect that.
And as a society, we're still feeling the effects of it.
Right.
100%. We're feeling, as a society and personally, regardless of whether, like you said, we're aware of it or not.
Right.
It has affected how we engage with people.
Exactly. What I noticed is it has made us dissociate, meaning tune out, meaning if you were once present, enjoying your day-to-day life, suddenly you're not aware of how the day is going. You're not aware of how your friend's feeling. You're not thinking, oh, let me call this person and see how they're doing. Our engagement with human interaction just dwindled. It just minimized, it depleted. And some people are still stuck in that phase.
It taught us to isolation. And stay isolated.
Oh, yeah.
And we see it, I mean, because we don't talk about it as much with adults, I feel, in society, but the main focus has been kids, which is fine. But I think, look at what's happening with kids and then see that adults were lacking that social interaction as well. So with kids, often we see now that where they're coming back to school, that they're, inappropriately touching, or they're hitting each other, or they're not making eye contact. It's because they lost 1 to 2 years in their development stages of interaction with other kids, with other adults other than their parents, whether their relationship with their parents at home was healthy or not. So looking at the effects of that in these growing humans, and knowing that still affects us as adults too.
Right.
Well, and bringing it back to the creatives. We talk so much about on this podcast how like the film industry is so not solo. Like you have to have a team. And like, I mean, even like the writers' rooms having mini rooms versus like a full writers' room. That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting to continue, or like be able to continue to have like full writers' room with diverse people and diverse backgrounds, and being able to have so many different voices in there versus 3 to 4 people and AI helping you out, and then, or even less than that, and just have like a showrunner run it and it be a sole, piece of work, which there's room for that, like in certain areas. But I think that as a whole, like most of our shows, like to keep them creative and exciting, we need
humans, because I will say
it.
Representing people.
Yeah, right. Humans representing the human experience would be great.
100%.
We're just on the cusp of like actually inviting people of color and women to be a majority in those rooms.
And now you want to bring AI in? Hell no!
Yeah, exactly. And so, I don't know. And like, also, you know, as an actor, you're literally, I mean, obviously, unless you're doing, you know, some sort of, I don't know, like CGI thing, but you're literally talking to another actor. Like you're portraying human interaction. So it's like,
yeah. AI, as we discussed, it can only regurgitate what humans have researched, developed, the actor's voice, the actor's movement. CGI cannot be done without the actual actor. Just as a reminder.
Yes, preach.
So in the end, AI does not have life without us as creatives. Mm-hmm. AI cannot evolve unless the human evolves. Technology does not evolve unless the humans create it. So I don't know where this power trip is coming from. Actually, I do. I do. It's we have come to an age where, I don't know if you remember, I don't know, who was that comedian? I can't remember. Anyway, but it's like, first there was Amazon. Everything gets shipped to you. Then it was Amazon Prime. Then it's Amazon Prime Now. And then pretty soon it's like you're thinking it and it arrives to your door. You know, we're in this era of we have no patience and we've become lazy.
It's that instant gratification. Yes.
Instant gratification and laziness. It's become that, well, how much more can I tune out and relax and let what AI do the work? Mm-hmm. So if 5 people are wanting to do the same concept or the same story, and then you give it to AI, and fine, maybe AI can do 120 different concepts, but have you seen AI's work realistically? If you played with it, 100 of the 20 is like really crappy. Mm-hmm. So I don't care that it's producing 120 different things, but in the end, it's all going to end up being the same thing. You know, back when I was doing my dissertation, we had to research literally, like, it was like hundreds upon hundreds and years of research. And we had to keep going until it started repeating itself. That to me is what AI is. So it wasn't until I think like maybe 5 years later when new information came in that you can add something new. And now all the information that I put into the dissertation, and then after it published, a dissertation is basically like a really long, boring thesis, just so you know.
It's like a book. It's like a mini book.
It's a mini book. So AI really can't take over in the long run.
Or else we're not going to progress as a society.
Well, we can progress as a society, but the people that want to only use AI are not going to progress. They're going to come back to the writers and the actors and the unique individual. And, you know, society changes.
Yeah. Well, what's scary, I think right now now we're just talking about the strike, but I think what's scary now is like, I don't think that the high ups are like downplaying the need for, you know, a writer or a actor, but what they want is like strip them of like all their rights, basically, like use their work for eternity and just pay them one day, essentially.
Exactly. Right. And that's what, exactly.
Which it's like, oh, okay.
Definitely not.
And that's not, you know, it's just not sustainable for the person who has put their whole self into this, like whether it be their image or, you know, learning their acting skills or learning their writing skills or or whatever it is, you know, learning their skills that they put their whole life into, and then it being diminished to a day's pay.
No. So, in perpetuity are words that we've said it on this podcast. Steer clear of the words in perpetuity in your contracts at all costs.
Yeah.
Can we talk about rejection for a little bit? So
Absolutely.
we're, you know, we've talked about, you know, how we can kind of maintain a healthy sense of quote unquote control in our lives, or how we can feel, you know, more at peace with the control or lack thereof that we have in our careers and in our life. So how do we deal with the rejection of really wanting something, really wanting to work with someone, really wanting a role, and then just having it not work out for reasons most beyond our control most of the time.
And most of the time you don't necessarily know why.
Exactly. And exactly, that's a perfect point, not having the answers. You could kill it in a job interview. You could be perfect as an actor. You could actually be the best quote unquote, and not get the job.
Right.
So how do
we deal with that? BS.
You're actually reminding me of a dear friend of mine who is in acting and is in touch with a producer and is dying to be this one specific role. And again, being vague on purpose. And, like already so many people want her to be this lead role. And, it's possible they might pick somebody else. And so again, I just have this person in mind where I'm like, oh my God, the rejection would be so difficult. So how do we deal with rejection? First of all, let's remember that rejection is not really happening in the here and now. Let me explain. Here and now. So you go for a role, you get rejected. Consciously, you're like, why did this person reject me? Deep down, what's happening subconscious, unconsciously is something in your childhood when you were rejected, something that said you weren't good enough. That's what's being triggered. So your body is actually having a reaction to something from your deep down childhood. It's a minor, it's like considered a small T, like a small trauma response. Rejection in our physical body, so in our DNA, means back in the old days. So you know how we have like the caveman and then the fight or flight, and they explain that. So let me explain rejection. Rejection in the old days, before we had independence and living in condos and having community, we lived in tribes. Tribes, if we were rejected, meant we were dead.
Either shunned from society. Literally.
Shunned from society. That means we were either, walking miles and miles through a desert, through the forest with wild animals. It meant death. Rejection meant death.
It was like, let's see how long you can survive this.
Right.
Be long.
And so every time we're getting rejected for a role, that DNA kind of gets triggered because we still have that primitive, setup in our body. So something to trick your mind, because thank you for human evolution that AI cannot provide.
Love it.
It's just this AI the whole time.
It's just AI. It's a main topic. So, we're just going to toss that in there. I'm just saying. If you see it again as before you go in, it's a trial and error. It's kind of like dating. I don't know if you, if there's still like Tinder, what's out there now at this point.
One of the websites, I can't remember.
You swipe right or left, but you're not thinking twice that you're rejecting the person.
Right.
And either you talk to the person and it works out or it doesn't. So that is the most minor sense of rejection that I can kind of, connect the two, because the feeling of rejection is connected to, well, if I get this, it'll get me to this next stage. So ask yourself, why does this hurt? Does it hurt because it makes me feel like I'm not good enough? Does it hurt because I really wanted this role? And why did I want this role? Is it because I thought it was going to get me to the next step? Great. Is there another way to get to the next step? So does it have to be through this? Does it have to be, for example, let's say, I'm huge on like Halloween and like all the alternative, like anything sci-fi, I love. So it's like, if Tim Burton refuses me and he's like, oh, there's no way I'm going to be ever working with Reverend Doctor Leila. Like, oh, hell no, it's like, because he's already up there. So if he, let's say hypothetically, declines me, if he rejects me, it's going to hit hard because he's already up there. So then who else is going to
believe in me?
Who else is going to believe in me? Like, we don't stop to think that there's another avenue. So, but it goes back to control. I can't give my control, I can't give my freedom up to, for example, sorry, Tim Burton, but, for example, Tim Burton. he is one avenue. He's already a preset road, but I have to start looking at other avenues. This is where I take back my power, my control, and this is how I can put rejection aside and actually feel better.
Yeah.
Rejection means I'm not wanted. It's invalidating. It's saying I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. So saying I'm not good enough, what that actually means is I'm not lovable. And if I'm not lovable, then I can't survive. So now that we have that concept, some people might be like, well, what the hell do you mean I can't survive? Of course I can survive. My girlfriend loves me. My boyfriend loves me. My partner, my cat loves me. So if I'm rejected, I'm still lovable. So when you get rejected, remind yourself you're still lovable. You're still valued. It might not be what that person is looking for, whoever is, the casting director or the producer. Maybe they don't know what they're looking for. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they're, completely tuned out and you were right for the role, but for whatever reason, we don't know what's going on in their mind.
We're behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Maybe they needed a name, and that was the whole thing. Right. They just needed someone famous to get it approved.
At least for actors, especially when it's a union job, legally you have to audition people, to my understanding. Someone could already have it in the bag and the contract could be drafted and just not handed over to them yet. But legally they have to audition people. Same thing. I mean, not just with actors, same thing for just job interviews, whether it's in the entertainment industry or not. They have to interview a certain number of people. Right. And maybe you're just, a referral and a filler and you're the 10th person and they need to fill a 10th person on that spot and it's already awarded to someone else. Right. But something that we've talked about in this podcast is every opportunity is an opportunity that you might reap the benefits of 5, 10, 1 year from now. Right. It's about winning the room and putting out your best work regardless of, the outcome, I guess. And that's how you can, stand in your power.
I think too, because just like an example that I think we've talked about before is like, okay, yeah, so you're an actor auditioning for a role and you didn't get this part, but the casting director really liked you. And so maybe they keep you in mind for another thing or whatever, so it's about like, again, keeping those like human connections going and like, maybe you're not working with them now, but maybe you will work with them later. Yeah.
No, that's very true. Something that comes to mind is, I think it's really important for people to know it's never about you. And we internalize it. We make it about us because that's what we do as humans. Is there something wrong with me? Did I do something wrong? Did I not say, stop, the line right on time? And did I not say it loud enough? Did I not say it with enough emotion? No, because chances are it's really not about you. Something's going on with like we said, after the pandemic, most people are dissociated. So we can't take things personal. And that helps take away the pressure and the negativity that we throw on ourselves. That, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Or it kind of matches relationships. Why didn't he call me? Why didn't she call me? Why did they, this and that? And it's like, chances are it's about them versus you as a person. So we never know. We can't take those things personal.
Right. I did a job interview recently for the city. So not acting wise, just for a promotion. And I scored second highest right after my husband. But the main complaint was that one of the persons interviewing us, because it was over Zoom, was looking down almost the entire time and on his phone. And just me going through my training, like my acting teacher would do that just to test us to make sure that we were in it and focused regardless of whatever the audience was doing. Right. And so I just took it as an act. Right. And I was like, I'm going to kill it. And I'm just going to assume that he's listening to me. I'm going to assume the best.
And that one moment that he's going to look up, you're
going to
be there.
I'm still going to be present.
Right.
And then, I scored very well. And people who didn't score well were like, I was so thrown off. He never looked at me. He was looking down. I feel like he picked on me personally. And they're like, well, you scored high. How did he treat you? And I was like, he treated me the same. Yeah. Maybe he was taking notes on his phone. Maybe he wasn't paying attention and he didn't want to be there, but I still try not to let it affect me, and the score will prove that. Right. So I mean, just like same thing in the entertainment industry. It happens for auditions, it happens for job interviews, it happens on set, where you're communicating something to someone, but everyone's in their own world on set. Everyone has a million things going at once, and it's like, oh my gosh, did the director talk to me like that because they're mad at me? No, the director is orchestrating 1,000 things on set,
which is so funny because and again, I think we've talked about this before, but like as women too, whenever, you can just be like, no, I don't want that. And like, just go on with your day. Someone's like, what a bitch. Like, oh my God, did you see her not smile at me? And I'm like, oh my God.
I don't have to smile.
Like that, and that's a clear representation of like it being a different.
It's not about you.
Yeah. Well, you actually brought up a really good point. Because we'll look at the person that's like, no, I don't want that, because they know what they want and don't want. And we're like, oh, you're such a bitch. And, so we're, trying to put the other person down. I say just own it. Own, like, I if somebody calls me a bitch, thank you for acknowledging that.
Thank you for acknowledging that I'm confident in my choices.
Yes.
Thank you for...
Yeah.
Thank you for acknowledging that I'm confident in my choices, and thank you for acknowledging that I'm being clear in my communication skills
and time efficient, and spend time creating boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've talked about, dealing, with the rejection. What about the other side of that? How do we define success? How do we deal with success once we have it? What, everyone, I believe, has a different version of success. And we have different successes along the way in our careers and in our personal lives. So how do you see the scope of that, and how that ranges in people's journeys with success?
You said something really profound that I just have to also add. Once somebody is successful, we then have to deal with how to cope with success, because that's a whole other category on its own. Right. But what is success really depends on the person. For some people, there's this one person, literally a regular, works like five days a week, 7 days a week, like very consistently as an extra in feature films. Consistently. That is their career. And you know what? They're successful. And then somebody else turned around and said, well, that's not successful. Well, according to who? So I say you have your goal. So this is where goal setting, where when you feel stuck, I like to look at the future. What is your goal? What is your biggest idea of success? Is it to be a A-list actor, actress going on the red carpet? Is it to be a series regular? Is it to have your own podcast? Like, what is it? Yeah. It's what is that? So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to change. Again, we're not AI. We are constantly growing and changing.
Yes.
Right? So what is it at that moment? So you have a goal, and you need to have marks, your daily mark, your weekly mark, and you go towards it. So for somebody, for example, that is severely depressed, success is I woke up in the morning, I brushed my teeth, I showered. And if I'm a creative writer, I got on the computer, or I took out a piece of paper and pen and I wrote something down. And it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I don't care. They're like, yeah, but I'm like, I'm here to tell you I don't care. I just want to know that you wrote something. What did that feel like? Great. Can we get to the next step? And then there's some people, they're like, oh, I have an idea for the show. Okay, great. Next weekend is done. Whoa. It's amazing. So it'd be nice to be the person that can get up and do everything, but they have their own set of issues as well. So you have to focus on where you're at, right? It really is about you. It's about you. Nobody else matters. If you see something as far as like where you would like to be, great. Don't look at that as far as like, oh, that makes me jealous. If it makes you jealous, great. Take it, use it as fuel, and turn it into a goal. What is it about that makes you jealous? We're meant to be jealous. It's not a bad feeling. It doesn't make us a bad person. Jealousy helps us go towards competing in a good way. If you're running and you're jealous that this person is just a little bit faster than you, you're going to work harder. That's a fuel. Use it. Society is like, oh, don't be jealous. No, you know what? Be jealous and use it. Feel competitive and put a fire on your back.
But.
Yeah. I'm like, what's
But.
Yeah. Thank you. So success is having a goal and slowly getting to it and acknowledging your emotions and taking care of yourself along the way.
Mm-hmm.
We forget. We're not computers. We're not going to get up every morning and do the same thing. Some days, we're tired. Some days we have to add rest. Success also is, hey, I let myself rest today.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I let myself rest. I can't tell you how many, a dear friend of mine, she's huge on acting for marketers, marketing for acting. Right. Marketing for acting. Thank you. And it's great. She's like, every day do something. I understand that, but sometimes we need a day or two off to do nothing and to do self-care. That is a part of our job.
Yeah.
Our job is self-care. We are human. So we need to go for a walk. We need to disconnect from the world. Whatever it is that if you're an extrovert, great, hang out with your friends, get that energy. If you're an introvert, have some alone time. That is a part of keeping your mind, your body, your spirit fully charged so that you can do the social media, so you can deal with the rejection, so you can go out there and do what you want to do.
Yeah. So the rejection is not about you.
It's not.
But the success
is all
that's about you.
I love it. Yes.
Well,
thank you.
I think what you were saying too of sometimes especially if someone's depressed, just getting up and writing something down, and then the other people can get it, get a whole show made in a weekend sort of thing.
Yeah.
Jessica.
No.
Just accept the compliment.
Not yet. But I think the thing is that's important too, is you can be both people at different stages in your life. Maybe.
And on different days.
Days. Yeah. Maybe today it's just getting up and writing something down. I love breakfast. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Sure.
Writing something, that was me saying that, not just saying, not stating that I love breakfast. But yeah, just writing something. And then, in a year, 2 years, maybe you're at the point in your career where you have so many connections that you can just go into a meeting and pitch the next day, whatever, amazing thing that you have. Or maybe that's never you. Maybe also you'll still spend your full life working on your one exciting, I don't know, that sounds really sad, but your one thing, and then finally getting to make it, and that's the big, because there are people out there, I'm even thinking of novelists and stuff. There's people who just write their one great American novel or whatever and then dip out. They're yep, that was it for me. I don't have to always be doing be doing writing to be a writer, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. And like you were saying, the goals change. And so then our day-to-day, goal setting will change, and the requirements that we put on ourselves, the guidelines or whatever, the steps that we're supposed to hit.
And it's being an actor, just because you're not on set every single day doesn't mean you're not an actor.
Yes.
As well.
Exactly. I was just going to say, I remember, and I'm sharing this, I want to be transparent in hopes that somebody will benefit off of this. I remember going through my program, my entire, because it's a long ass school program to get to the clinical work. I wasn't allowed to also be an actor. I wasn't allowed to also sing. Really? I was not allowed to be me. It was I had to be this blank canvas, which in a way I understood, but I had to erase and hide every aspect of who I was. There was, I wasn't even allowed to share the part of me that is a core part of me since childhood.
Your artistic part.
My artistic part side. And also my intuitive side. There is a reason why I have a business.
So why though? Why were they saying that?
I think that's a wonderful question. I believe society thinks that if you are one thing, you cannot be something else.
Yeah.
I do think, and I've noticed that also in entertainment. I won't say who it is, but it was a really popular show back in the day, and I auditioned for one of the casting directors. We got along so well, and he's like, "Oh, so what else do you do?" And I said, "Oh yeah, this was a long time ago. And I was just like, oh yeah, I just recently finished my master's in psychology. And all of a sudden he stopped and he's like, oh honey, you're still green. Just do a few more years of acting and then get back to me. Because I had this other career, because I decided I'm not going to be a waitress, and I'm, I just didn't want to be a waitress anymore. I didn't want to do something on the side. I wanted to follow another passion.
Yeah.
But so punchline, don't let anybody tell you something that you are or you're not. If you identify as it, again, it's follow through with who and what you believe you are.
And I think also what you said is being in tune with what fuels you. You knew what fueled you.
Right.
Also, and multiple things fuel. Yeah.
I think those people are dumb.
But
here's the thing. Like, most people, like, I mean, I have a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
She's a woman, which I'm glad. I'm like, I want someone who understands, like, what I'm going through societally, like,
right.
At least, I mean, maybe not everyone, like, not all women think the same, and, like, maybe they don't have all the same experiences, but maybe, just maybe there's, like, some sort of connection, like, and more than likely there is, right? Mm-hmm. There's some sort of, like, understanding, right?
Yeah.
And then, too, that, again, reminds me of, like, what you're saying with the entertainment industry, where it's like so much of the time it was, the chick flicks are like for the women, but the women are able to also go ahead and see like the adventure movies and everything. But if a man, but a man couldn't go see the chick flicks.
I'm gonna be real with you. My husband picks the rom-coms.
Yeah.
We love watching them together.
That's like a heteronormative and like maybe a 10-year ago type of like thought process. But that's what it was. It was like a 10-year ago thought process. And I'm sure some people still hold that. And then too, again, kind of like even on an actor note, if you were a drama movie actor, you were not going to be a comedy TV actor, which is so limiting. I'm like, oh, God.
But I think
that like statement just made me so, I was like, what the fuck?
And I'm sure a lot of people that are listening to this right now are feeling exactly the way that you're feeling. It's being categorized and put off into like some tiny little, I don't know, imaginary cubicle.
Yeah.
And feeling stuck.
Yeah.
And when I went through this through high school and through college. It's like in high school, I wasn't allowed to do water polo and band and be in the plays. I get called back for the plays and they're like, well, you can't handle it with your schedule. And I'm like, how about you give it to me and you can see what I can handle.
Exactly.
And then in college, when I moved from the musical theater track to the BFA straight acting track, I still registered for dance classes. And to get out of the theater building that I lived in 24/7, I promised myself, I'm like, I'm going to take one physical sport kinesiology class a semester. So I did tennis and fencing and rock climbing and, just something to get me out of that building because I knew I needed to recharge around maybe a different group of people, or just I knew that physically, like I like to be physically active. So I just needed something else.
Well, and we always talk about this, but if you don't live life like beyond being just an actor or just a whatever, like how are you supposed to like
represent life or present it?
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, you doing all those skills and all those, like that means that you were able to like see a little bit of those communities and like, experience that and what that may be like. I mean,
and do that recharging or that release or that, whatever you need so that you actually can progress in your career.
Yeah.
Right. So now we know you recharge by doing things that are very physically active. Whereas I recharge by, I need alone time and I need to sit down and do my meditations.
Right.
Right. I like doing physical activity, but every morning and every night I better have that window for my meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry, that got me so heated. Like that, I just don't like people telling me.
You can't do all the things.
I don't like people telling people that they can't do something.
But they do. That's they
ridiculous.
Do.
And it's in a bunch of different areas too. Like it's not just here, not just your field or anything, but gosh.
Jessica's really riled up.
Don't get me started. And then I got started.
But I love the point that you made, there's so many people out there ready to tell us what we cannot do that sometimes we listen and we doubt ourselves. But how are you supposed to know if you can handle, all those physical activities. Like, I know I can't handle all those physical activities, but maybe you can. And how are you supposed to know if you can or can't if somebody says no from the beginning?
Oh yeah, I suck at tennis. I'll
You have
probably
to
never
try
do it
it.
again. But I did try.
You tried it. You tried it. And I would love to hear and see more people give themselves that room before they decline themselves. They're rejecting themselves before they even try it.
Yeah.
Try something. And as you were saying, it helps enrich your life.
Yeah.
We need to get used to trying something and failing. And it's not failing. It's an experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's experience. It's learning, trying something new, or just trying something again that you want to tackle.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Amen, sister friend.
We want to open this up to anything you want to talk to our amazing podcast listeners about, and then we're definitely going to plug how people can find you, but the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you.
Any last words?
Yeah. any last words? I really hope anybody that's listening is I really hope anybody that is listening to this podcast is, even if you have just a hint of inspiration, that run with it, take it. Everybody has their own unique experience to offer this world, and nobody else can be you. No matter what color you are, no matter if you're male, female, transgender, anything, you are so uniquely yourself that the world has plenty of room for all of us. This is not a competition realistically. There is enough room for all of us to put ourselves out there the way that we want. It's just a matter of taking the time to get there. So I hope anybody listening is going to give themselves that permission to step into what they want if they haven't yet. And if you have, and if you're already busy with it, I hope you give yourself enough time and validate that it's okay to also take a break.
Beautiful. Yes. Snaps for that. Snaps. Okay. So Reverend Dr. Leila, your website is can you tell us your website and your YouTube and everything where to find us?
So it's called The Psychicology Doctor. So the word psychic and ology. So the ology of everything psychic and psychology based. So it's thepsychicologydoctor.com. My Instagram is also The Psychicology Doctor, and my YouTube is the same. I may or may not rebrand it at some point because it's very long, but it is trademarked.
Yes. And we're going to link it below in the show notes. So if you're worried about, if you're not the best speller like me, it's going to be, you just scroll a little bit lower and click on it. And your TikTok is Spiritual RX Doctor, DR.
Yeah, it's Spiritual RX Doctor. So meaning spiritual prescription doctor. Because I'm always providing spiritual prescriptions. And I always do my best to go the holistic route before somebody has to go on like Wellbutrin or the expensive toxic things for your body. There are so many holistic avenues out there. So again, I'm just going to apologize because I am one of those people that does not take the time to go on social media, but I will.
So don't DM her. Go to her website.
Yeah. Go to my website. Send me a text. I think the best thing is to contact me on my number on my website. You can always send me a text message. And then we can go from there. But I will hopefully take my own advice and start adding more on social media.
Yeah. So you can find her there. But yeah, the best thing is, her website is so easy to use and it's beautiful and very straightforward. So it's a great resource.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Great. Well, thanks so much for coming on. We had lots of spirited conversations.
I didn't realize the pun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't realize it. Oh, yeah. There you go. That was on purpose. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on.
Such
We
a
love
pleasure.
having
Thank
you on.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes.
All right, now go get set.
Go get set.
Hey, wait, don't leave just yet. We have more tips and mini episodes over on our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Come on. You'll be a member of our crew and have access to cheat sheets, budgeting templates, monthly updates from us, and so much more. So go ahead and visit us over at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment. It's also linked below. Thanks.